Hi guys, Mulos here. So today I am just going to talk about Zambian banking systems. This video is brought to you by my new site, blockchain.co.zm, for all things blockchain and crypto to fiat, fiat to crypto. You can just come through on this site and let me know what you want to do, transact and all. I believe that crypto needs to come into the mainstream. A lot of people in Zambia do transact crypto legitimately. Crypto is perfectly legal to use and transact in Zambia, but a lot of people, because of the lack of full information and all, do end up acting as if it's an illegal thing to do, and then it becomes a gray area. So I just want to try to make crypto more mainstream and then let people transact using mobile money and banks so that it's done safely and all. Anyway, so back to talking about the banks. So I'm a sort of financialist analyst. So I do a lot of banking and financial services. So this requires me at times to have a lot of bank accounts. So I started off using my personal bank accounts. And then as business was growing and volumes were becoming higher, I ended up now moving from a personal account to business account. So as we speak right now, I've got bank accounts in the personal and business with ABSA, Access, EcoBank, FNB, Indo-Zambia, Stanbic, Stanchart, UBA, and Zanaco. So I've got accounts with basically 9 different banks, both in the personal and business capacity. And then some of these I've got kwacha accounts, some of them I've got dollar accounts, some of them I've got pound and euro accounts. And all this does sound crazy and insane, but you need to understand I do get paid for this. It has enabled me to grow my business from where I was just, theorizing about the potential of what I could or could not do in the Zambian space due to the limitations of our banking systems and financial systems. But then as I started making YouTube videos and I started interacting and transacting with people across the world, I realized that Zambia does actually have a very robust, dynamic, and tech-savvy banking and financial systems. There is a lot you can do with the Zambian banks that usually people do not know you can actually do. So I'll just give a few tips, tricks, and hacks on the banks. This video is not sponsored by any banks. I'm not affiliated to any of these banks. I'm just going to pass recommendations based off of my own personal usage. So in terms of banking apps, my 2 most ranked banking apps is the FNB app and the EcoBank app. So these are my 2 favorite banking apps to use. You can do a lot with the FNB app. So in my case, I've got an FNB bank. I've got bank accounts with FNB in my personal capacity, kwacha in dollar. My business name has bank account with FNB, kwacha in dollar. A limited company has a bank account with FNB in kwacha. So with the FNB banking app, you are able to navigate between all your different FNB profiles within the same app. And then if it's a business name and also you have a personal account there, you can navigate, you can actually have both of those profiles within your personal profile, because a business name is basically you and the business are one for legal purposes. So it's all in one app. So the FNB app is simply the best in terms of usability and ease of use and simplicity. So one app to rule them all. Then when it comes to the EcoBank app, it's really great for things like most of the functionality is there, and also very good to manage your Forex portfolio. This is for the personal account. Then EcoBank does also have an app for the business account. I don't use it that much, but the personal app I do actually love. There was one feature I used to love the most. It was the Visa Direct feature, where you could pay directly into Visa bank cards from the app. They took it out. I don't know why, but anyway, those are my 2 favorite banking apps among all the banks that I use. Now we're going to talk about foreign currency cards. So a lot of people, do not actually check their fees exchange rates, and all these things. They'll just be swiping or using their local currency cards on places like Amazon and all these other things, Amazon, PayPal, and all these things. And no one actually looks at the rates and the fees. So basically, you're always paying something like between 1.5 to 5.5% extra when you use a local currency card on international payments and transactions. So I basically believe you save money by just having a dollar card and using those dollar cards online. You save a lot of money. When I use my cards, I'm basically paying one-to-one, $1 for each dollar transaction I'm doing online, especially expensive sites like PayPal. PayPal takes your money at any opportunity. If you give them an opportunity to charge you, they will charge you heavily. So me using my dollar card on my PayPal site has saved me a ton of money, and it has also created opportunities because a lot of times I make PayPal payments for clients. So you find that I charge them the commercial rate, which includes the PayPal charges and fees for a Kwacha transaction, but I'm using my dollar card, so I do earn a little bit extra income from that. And PayPal doesn't charge me any more than I need to. So if you're going to be using dollar cards, or if you're going to be transacting online in dollar, pound, euro, and rand, I recommend you find out from your bank if they do have foreign currency cards. So in my case, I do have an EcoBank dollar card. It works perfectly well. I have a Zanaco dollar card. Technically, it works perfectly well, but you know, Zanaco is a bit of a problematic bank. You actually need to ask them to activate your card for online transactions. So once you get the card, you can't use it online. You have to go to them, fill in a disclaimer form, and then they'll activate your card. And then I also have a StanChart dollar, pound, and a dollar card, rather, sorry. But I think you can apply for a pound, euro, and rand card with StanChart. So of all these three banks I've mentioned, EcoBank, Zanaco, and StanChart, I think StanChart has the best card features, but EcoBank is the most practical to use. So although I'm going to recommend the two, EcoBank is more practical for the dollar card, but StanChart has the more features and bang for your buck than the others. But they do have limitations on the maximum you can transact in a day. That's why I recommend the EcoBank. Remember, this is not sponsored by any of these banks. I'm just sharing my experiences as a heavy bank user. Then when it comes to incoming wire transfers, once in a blue moon. So I'm a YouTuber, I'm a monetized YouTuber, and YouTube pays me monthly my YouTube earnings. So sometimes the money is good, sometimes the money is just enough to pay bills, buy fuel, and bread. So I really am all about the savings on all my bank transactions. I do not want to pay more bank fees than I absolutely have to. So when it comes to incoming wire transfers, EcoBank and StanChart so far are the ones I know that do not charge commission on incoming wire transfers. So if your uncle, auntie, business partners are wiring you $10, you will receive $10, or you receive what the bank has actually received, because you know there are a lot of correspondent banking fees and a lot of fees deducted before the money reaches your bank's correspondent bank. So EcoBank and StanChart, as far as I know, are two of the banks that do not charge for incoming wire transfers. So if you have received $100 through them, you're going to receive $100 into your bank account. So I do recommend the two. For my YouTube pay, I receive my money through EcoBank. Then for some certain transactions, I receive the money through StanChart. But I prefer to use EcoBank because StanChart once actually gave me a call to find out why I was doing certain transactions and to tell me I could not use my bank account for business transactions. But you know, as a Tamanga, sometimes you receive payments in your local bank account, sometimes you receive them in your business bank account. And as someone whose business is a business name, I and the business are one for legal purposes. We file our returns on the same TPIN and all that stuff. So if I receive money in my personal account or the business account, it's still reported in the same TPIN. So it was something I wanted to ask StanChart. So what happens in such a case when you are a Tamanga like me and a client has paid you in your personal account? And I never got to ask them. Now, when it comes to outgoing wire transfers, so this again is not sponsored by anyone, guys, but I don't think I've seen a bank that wires money faster than Stanchart. So I've got a South African non-resident bank account. So sometimes I need to make a payment in South Africa, and I'm wiring with Stanchart, and you find that immediately I've even hit send, it's deducted from my account. I receive a notification from South Africa that funds have been received. Stanchart is just simply great for Forex transactions. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but they are absolutely brilliant when it comes to this type of transacting. So I've done transfers in pound, euro, and rand, and even dollar. And then Stanchart processes these things extremely fast. But remember, Stanchart does not recommend you use your account for business transactions. So please just use them for personal remittances. If you're trying to use them for business remittances, you might end up crying. Then the other bank, also EcoBank and Zanaco, I have done transactions with them. So far, no complaints. Very easy and straightforward to use. Then now when it comes to 24/7 Forex transacting, there are a lot of banks in Zambia that after 15:30, you cannot transact Kwacha to Forex or Forex to Kwacha. This leads to situations where you become a stranded millionaire. You have $100 sitting in your Forex account and you are stranded in town and you need to move that money into your Kwacha account. There are certain banks in Zambia, you cannot do that. So you will literally be stuck in town or somewhere looking for money, but meanwhile you've got $100 in your dollar account. So the banks that I know do have 24/7 Forex transacting. I know there's EcoBank, Stanchart, Zanaco, and Stanbic. They may have transaction limits here and there. But with these banks, you won't be a stranded millionaire where your money is sitting in your dollar account and you are stuck. You can actually move it to your Kwacha account. A lot of terms and conditions apply because there are issues on the amount you're transacting and all that other stuff. And then also they may give higher rates after certain cutoff times. But also in case you've got the Forex card and you need to make a transaction, at 03 in the morning, you need to book that ticket and you don't want to spend an extra 3.5 to 5.5% extra because you're using a Kwacha card. These cards, you can still top up your dollar account 24/7, 365 and make those savings. Then now, again, I am a mobile money agent with Airtel, MTN, Zamtel, Kwacha. And, the question comes in, which banks are best for managing your float? So the banks that I highly recommend would be Stanbic and Zanaco. So these two banks, I'm able to manage my float more or less 24/7, 365. Some terms and conditions apply. You have to have things like using the correct reference, sending to the correct accounts, or system downtime and all that stuff. But between these two banks, Stanbic and Zanaco, I'm able to manage my float more or less consistently 24/7, 365. Then I'm also an agent for 543 Consequence in Kazan. Now these two, 543 Consequence, they load float like during working hours and even extended working hours. And the banks I recommend, there's ABSA, there's now Access, because it used to be Atlas Mara, there's Access, there's FNB, and Indo-Zambia and Zanaco. So I think these 5 banks, you should be able to manage your 543 Consequence float during working hours, including their extended working hours. ABSA, I know, used to have a problem on weekends because I think they don't send proof of payments on after hours or weekends. So you could have a situation where you can't load your 543 Consequence account at certain times from an ABSA account. Then Zanaco is great when it comes. So now let's talk about Kazan. So Kazan, again, there are 2 banks that I use religiously to load my Kazan float, and that is Stanbic and Zanaco. So these 24/7, 365. Terms and conditions apply because there are occasional downtimes, and these are very, very rare. Once a quarter or twice a quarter, you find that there's a problem loading Zanaco or Stanbic into your Kazan. It's just like, it's really, really rare, and I don't actually even have their call centers on speed dials because once you've done the transaction, it's very, very efficient, except that once or twice a quarter, which is like every 90 days or so, it could be down for 1 day or 2 days or a weekend, basically. Yeah, so that is about it, I think, talking about the banks. So again, remember guys, you do not need to have bank accounts with 9 different banks like I do. In my case, I do a lot of financial experimentation. I'm always looking for ways and means to boost my crypto transacting, my PayPal transacting, my fintech transacting, and my agency banking and mobile money transacting. So I am prepared to bear the fees and costs that having all these multiple accounts come with. And then the benefit to me is that I'm able to transact near 24/7, 365 with my clients and all. There's nothing like someone is making a payment on a Friday and then I'm worried, oh no, it will only clear on Monday or Tuesday. For me, I ask them which bank they are with and I give them a solution to pay me so that I get my money faster. So it has helped me grow my business exponentially, and I've done relatively well for myself. Terms and conditions apply because I'm still not yet a millionaire. I'm still some days struggling paycheck to paycheck, but some days I'm balling out of control. So it has afforded me a decent life here and there, but it has put me under some stress. Sometimes I'm seeing my bank account in the negative because of bank fees that particular point in time I cannot afford to pay. So when you're making or opening a bank account, always look at the practical conveniences that that bank will have for you. One, location, location, location. Where are you located? Which bank is closest to you? I know in some areas, the closest bank would probably be NatSafe. Some people will be like, NatSafe. NatSafe is a good bank. It's a decent bank, and it affords you banking access and privileges. So always go with a bank that is located closest to you. The next thing is look at their mobile money features. Can you send or receive money via mobile money? Then the next thing is how fast or slow are their transfers? Do they transfer via DDAC, NFS, RTGS? If I was to transfer to another bank, how fast will they get that money and stuff like that? Then the other thing is incoming transfers. How fast do they process incoming transfers from Zambia or outside Zambia? Then the next thing is fees. How pricey are their fees? Always request a fee structure or always request copies of their fees so that you see how much they charge for certain transactions. Some banks actually charge you for depositing money, withdrawing money, transacting. And you know, some banks charge ridiculous amounts. Some banks don't even charge. So you always need to know what to expect when you're dealing with a bank. And then you should be able to make an informed decision. Do let me know in the comment section if there's anything you would want me to make in a future follow-up video on this, or anything you'd want me to expand on, and I'll indulge you on that. But otherwise, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, leave me a comment in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video. Mulos, bye.